Hello, Flosstube. Sorry, I'm wiggling this camera around. Hold on one second. Okay. Um, this is Flosstube update number 70. And I am Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. Um, Today is Saturday, June 22nd. And this is a channel about cross stitch. So if you're in the wrong room, you're looking for something else. Anyway, I am feeling a little delicate today because yesterday afternoon and evening was a sort of a big headache day. I've talked before about how I'm a little more susceptible to, headaches, and there are some days when I find it very difficult to stitch at all because, if I have a headache. And yesterday, I didn't so much have just a constant headache, but when I was in the hospital um, after my surgery, um, there were some times when I would have these. When I first started having them, I would have like pain, 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 little just like sort of stabbing kind of pains, but on this side of my head, and they would they were. It's hard to describe. They were kind of in the temple area, and sometimes the pain would like just this whole side of my head, in my teeth, and my jaw, and so a lot of people that have acoustic neuromas have um, neuralgia pain, just pain associated. I guess it's like with the nerves, as the nerves are going back, or because the nerves are affected, Uh, and so at the time in the hospital, uh, I had pretty badly. And then those little sort of recurring starbursts of pain had basically stopped, and I have still had the occasional, those occasional uh, headache kind of days, but those are pretty easily uh, resolved with uh, a large dose of ibuprofen. I probably take more than I should, for more than what's good for me, but anyway, I hadn't had those kind of little stabbing pain kind of things in a while. But yesterday, uh, it started around, I don't know, noonish, something like that. But I had those kind of pains, and it was kind of scary because uh, you know it, I had them for in the early afternoon. I had them very often, and then they kind of. I think, oh, good, maybe is it over? Is it over? Is it over? And then I'd have a couple more, and then so we had a little function yesterday afternoon because my niece is going to be up in Maine for the next several weeks. I think 6 weeks. This summer at a chamber music camp kind of thing. Um, and so we had a little family get together before she left, and and I was able to enjoy that, but I still was having those pains, and by evening they had mostly subsided, but I still had the occasional, and I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to stitch it all, but I got a few stitches in, and I slept a lot, but I'm sort of wary today of doing anything that might start it up again. I'm just feeling a little wary of it. Anyway, so I had written myself. Here it is, my notes. um, so uh, I have a little bit of stuff to share with you. Some works in progress. Some upcoming plans of things I want to do this, for the rest of the year, and it's probably going to take me the rest of the year to get through everything. I'm always like thinking, oh, I have time to do this. I have time to do that. Oh, look at all the stitching I can do. I have months, and you know how that goes. It's a lot of stuff I have in mind. But anyway, so what I started off, I had been working on, I think last week, and all of last week, the week before, leading up to last Saturday, and I think the beginning of this week or something, I had worked on the Hello Pumpkin Sal. Excuse me, get this out of the way. And so, because part 2 was released on the 17th, so I was working on this, and I finished most of part 1. There's some white that goes in here. I have white in another project thing, but so I haven't gotten it out yet. But there's white here, and there's an owl that goes right here, and he has white, in his eye, around his eyes, and so I will have to get the white out eventually. I have to go, find it. It's in one of my ship projects that I did for Mania. But anyway, so I was doing all these, a lot of these leaves, and I finally did the inside of this leaf, and then started on the stem of this leaf here. And I wanted to do the owl. The owl goes right here. It's a big owl. And what's funny is that, did I tell the story about the owl? I think I did. No, maybe I didn't. Wait, let me think. This. I don't know. Anyway, but my friend Dee Dee, from my X-Files fandom days, she and I have a running joke about an owl. And I didn't review my Flosstube from last week, like I often do before I do a new Flosstube, but so I don't remember if I told the story or not. But anyway, she and I have a running joke about an owl. So I'll have to tell her about the owl in this project. She and I are just friends on this X-Files website. We've never met in real life, but like I said, we have a running joke about an owl. Anyway, so but what I discovered, and one of my cats is about to make a mess. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Sorry. But one thing, I kind of felt it when I was doing this, and I wanted to mention that, see this right here? There's some stitching here, and some little pinkish leaves right here, that they don't show up well on this fabric. This fabric was avocado dyed, and except for that white spot right there, and so I had used like 4 avocados. I think 4 avocado. I think it was 2 avocados or 4 avocados. But I used the skins and the pits, and got this. It's darker than it shows up here on the camera, but got this nice fabric, and I hadn't used it for anything for a long time, and so I finally decided to use it for this Hello Pumpkin. But I was a little concerned about the colors, how they would show up on this fabric, and the only one that doesn't show up well is that pinkest color here. But I think that overall, there's a cat, he loves plastic. He likes to lick it. He likes to bite it. He's a plastic licker. Um, but the only one that doesn't show up well is, like I said, is this one here. But I think that once the other leaves are all in this, it's a big tree design. I think starting up again. It'll be okay. If not, I might have to take these tiny ones out and do a slightly darker shade or something if I can figure that out. It's the same. It's also down here in this mushroom. On the side of the mushroom stem here. But in real life, when you look at it, you can see it a little more easily, I think, than you can on camera here. It's a little, yeah, then you can see it there, if I hold it up close. Anyway, so I worked on this for quite a while, but I was watching yesterday. I was watching I can't think of her real name. I don't know, but her Flosstube channel is every home needs a gnome, and she had mentioned a piece that she had worked on that had like several little tiny motifs on it, and she preferred like big blocks of color, and that's kind of how I felt. Like I couldn't necessarily put my finger on it, but in a way it's the same thing. But this, it's a little fiddly to me. Like you have this little blop and this little blop and this little blop, and it's like say 5 rows, 4 or 5 stitches each. And on the one hand, you think, oh, that's really easy. I could do that. Bam, bam, bam. I can knock those out. But at the same time, I'm kind of a color completist, I guess, in that I want to do, if there are several leaves that are all one color, I want to do all those colors. Like this, doing all the blue, this light blue of the grass. On the one hand, it seems like, oh gosh, that'll take forever. You're stop it, please. Snug, stop. That you'd be forever doing this one color, and it's kind of boring. You think, but to me, it's a lot. Doing like a even just like these bands of color is a lot more interesting than, to me, it's a lot more not interesting but pleasing than doing, this little bit, and then if I can relate them to something so that I don't have to count too far afield, to put them in, then it's a little bit easier. But it's it's doing this little bit of this color and this little bit of this color, and having to switch colors all the time and have and I think that's the problem I also have with the Santa's house, and I'm a little worried about the Sleepy Hollow salve that's coming up, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too, of doing little bits of color like that. Santa's house, there's a lot of stuff going on, but some of it is a handful of stitches of this color and a handful of stitches of that color, and that's kind of I enjoy that less than doing slightly larger blocks of color, bands of color, like even like doing half of this mushroom all one color and the other half all one color. I still have to do the little white spots, but they're not so far apart. I can probably carry the thread from one spot to another without carrying it too far or anything. But I wouldn't be able to do that. I could probably take that out. That's just marking the center of my fabric. But I can't do that really for these isolated like these blue leaves. For instance, are kind of far apart, and so I have So anyway, that's Hello Pumpkin. It's coming along. I just, took a break from it for a while. And I took a break to work on Eeyore. Eeyore and Bees. This is one of my Stitch 9 challenge pieces. And I had talked about some time ago, because this was also, I did this for Mania, not this past May, but a year ago. Worked on, oops, that's the back. There's the back side. Show me your back side. That's the back. This is fun. And this needle minder by the lovely Caroline of Evertotes. I got that with my Evertote. I don't know it's how it got separated. I think I just put it on here because I didn't have a needle minder for this project, and then I just never put it back. It was on my daily walk in the woods, and I took it off for this project and put something else. I don't know. Put something else on that one. Anyway, when I had worked on this before, I finished this side and his ears and all that, and this little bee, just recently, just in the last few days. Snug, stop it. But I had discovered last year, when I worked on the bow on his tail, that it was off. I had to, there was something that was off, so I had to kind of fudge in here. And what it is, I think, is this, I think it's this blue on his foot is in the wrong place. And because this blue over here is also in the wrong place. And I don't know if I this light blue here, or bluish gray, excuse me, I don't know if I miscounted here and made it 2 stitches too long here, and that's what threw this off, or if I just miscounted this, and this, but they're both off by 2 stitches, or they're 2 stitches too low. And on this side, I just made this top of his foot thicker, but really what I should have done, please stop doing that, stop. What I should have done is just made this longer and started this fold thing or whatever, lower down, which is what I did with this. I just extended where this part began. I made this 2 stitches longer and then started going over. So his foot is the right width, thickness, whatever. Here it's just a little bit longer here. So that's so it doesn't look bad though. It doesn't. It just you can't really tell. Anyway, so I just have just this much to go. Just this. I'm filling in this little white area here, and then he'll be ready for back stitching, and also it's almost done. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Frame it, or I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Just add it to my to be FFO'd pile. I don't know. Anyway, so one of the things I did this past week, since Saturday, was it was on Tuesday, I think. Went running around, and I went to get a few things at Walmart. I'm going to pick up a prescription, so while I was there, I was looking at their storage things, Was it at Walmart? Bought this? Yes. But I bought this little section box. I have some beads in there that I used one set to make a little scissor fob. You can't really tell him here, but there's some elephants in there. I made a little scissor fob for scissors that I included with my exchange gift for Stitchnanigans. So I made a little scissor fob using some of the beads in here. And this red ribbon, there's an Eiffel Tower charm that I bought at Tempe Yarn and Fiber, where my sister is going to wool school to learn how to spin yarn and learning about various sheep and their wool and whatever. My younger sister, works at I don't know if she's working right now there. She's had some medical procedures, and so she had some time off from there. But she had started working at Tempe Yarn and Fiber. Anyway, so I went there with her one day, and I bought this little. I can take it out here. This little tiny little tiny Eiffel Tower charm, and it was on a little card. And the card said something about it had the Tour de France logo on it. And I hadn't really looked at it closely at the little card. I had it for a while, but I hadn't really looked at it. I just kind of put it away, put it somewhere safe. And now I have another cat up here, and but the card says Tour de Fleece. It's just that Fleece is written just like France, and so please stop, Puck. It looks like Tour de France, but it's Tour de Fleece. And on the bicycle, it has a bicycle on there, just like the Tour de France logo. And on the bicycle seat, it has a sheep, a little tiny sheep. I don't have it handy anywhere because like I said, I put it somewhere safe. And my cat's bugging me. Come here, puppy. Come here. You're the only cooperative one. Here's Puck. He's going to make his weekly appearance. Snug, stop, please. Stop. Stop licking the plastic. Stop it. Okay, so the other thing I bought while I was at Walmart is this big box. It's a big storage box. It's got little clips on here. And the reason I bought it was to store things like this. This is just a bag of thread that I have of various types. There's the skeins of thread that I got at Stitchnanigans, and some other things. My Weeks Dye Works threads are in here. Anyway, I needed a place to put these because these are not threads that I would bobbinate. I have boxes of my DMC threads on bobbins, and they're organized by number, so I can if I have a chart that has DMC numbers, I can just go and pluck them out of those boxes and but I'm little by little accumulating various threads that I don't want to bobbinate, and I have started keeping separate things like kit threads and things like that they may have DMC numbers, but they may or may not be DMC type threads. Some of them, like I ran into this with that little ice skating penguin that I had a long time ago. That it had like DMC numbers on the pattern that it came with. It was a magazine freebie, and so it had like DMC numbers on there. but the thread was very, it was kind of unraveling and hard to put through the eye of a needle because it would kind of unravel, just um, it wasn't the same as a DMC thread. It really wasn't. And I talked about then that I'm not a, excuse me, stop snob. I'm not a thread snob necessarily. I don't have any problem using, I don't have any prejudice against the kit threads or whatever, but it was obviously not the same quality. It was kind of a strange. It was the first time I really ran into what I think that a difference in quality of, having it, like I said, the thread kind of wanting to unravel or untwist or something. Anyway, so I have, I wanted to keep the thread, the thread that comes with kits, separate from real DMC threads, that I buy that specifically have DMC labels on them. So anyway, that's what this box is primarily for storing these threads, but also, no, snug, but also that little bead box and whatever else I may end up keeping in there. Stop, please stop. But the other thing, so I went to the attic, and this is my stuff from the attic. So while I was at the attic, I bought this punch needle and primitive stitcher magazine. Please stop. He really likes that bag that came from the attic, that type of plastic bag that came from the attic. So anyway, I bought this magazine, and of course in it is the Pam and Steph, the ad for the Dutch Mania tour. And stop. You can have the bag in a minute. You can have the bag in a minute. Not right now. Sorry. So anyway, I bought the magazine. I better get through this segment quickly before Snug goes crazy. And I also bought this little, upside down, pincushion design. I bought one of these a long time ago, my very first trip to the attic. It's the one I bought is slightly different. It's a cat on a rug, curled up on a rug, But it's a little kit that comes with the fabric and the finishing chenille. I think it comes with thread also. And then you just have you can use. I have some fabric that'll match here because I have some for my the first one that I bought, and it's still in my 2BFFO pile. But anyway, it's a little tiny tiny kit. It comes with I forget what size of linen. But anyway, it's yeah, it's a nice little kit. Anyway, it's my understanding. I think this designer passed away. I think. Priscilla's. I can't read it because of the price stickers on there. Designed by Bunny Smith. Yeah. So Priscilla's Pocket is the company, I guess. Anyway, they had a little basket with these in it, and they had this one and the cat that I did on the rug, And there's there's like a little bunny that I really wanted, also, but they didn't have any of the little bunny kits, so I haven't looked in to see if these are available anywhere else, but it was an impulse buy because they had it there by the register and I bought it. Or they had it for in a little basket there. Anyway, stop it. So the other thing I bought, let me give this plastic bag to Snug because he will bug me until I do. Sorry. Here, you can have that. Go play. So the other thing I bought while I was there is I bought some alternate colors that were listed for the Sleepy Hollow pattern Sal. So you could do it all on DMC, but if you want to, you can substitute some of these colors. These are Gentle Arts colors. So this one is Lagoon. It's a little blue. There you can see it better there. Blue variegation there. And this one is called Purple Iris. It's a little purplier than that. It looks blue on the camera there, but it's more it's a real purple. And then this one is Orange Marmalade. So these three colors I will use on the Sleepy Hollow Sal as substitutions for three of the DMC colors that are listed for that. And then the other thing I did was these Weeks Dye Works colors I bought for a Christmas project that I thought, well, I could look up conversion. There's I can't remember where I found a conversion table, for Weeks Dye Works colors, but I figure, what the heck, I'll splurge and buy these colors. So I bought these. Did I drop one? Oh no. Okay, so this one is honeysuckle. Kind of a little. It looks a little bit more yellow than is showing up on camera. I don't know. I'll hold it up against my blue shirt. I don't know, but it's kind of a light, sort of a light gold yellow color. And then this is Blue Jeans. And this is Blue Heron. It's a little darker than that. This is Mocha. And Lancaster Red. And Fawn. It's a little more, yeah. It's kind of echo colorish. And Whitewash. And Blue Coat Red. And Swiss Chocolate. So I was missing a handful of colors that I wanted: Onyx, Cherub, Garrison Green, and Hibiscus. They were out of those colors at the attic, and so I had a choice of, ordering online or ordering in the store and supporting my LNS, my local needle workshop. But I felt like at the attic that I wasn't sure. They didn't say, "Oh, we'll get those. We're getting those in next week. Give us your number and we'll call you." But but it was sort of like, leave us your number. We can call you when we get those in. But and I didn't know if it would take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. And so I just decided I would order them online. So I ordered them online last night, and also I ordered a little bit of Krynic for the Sleepy Hollow sal also, as a I guess in certain places you can add it in there with whatever color, blend it in with whatever color you're using. I think there's some stars or something like that on that design that that it suggests you can use it for. So those three dental arch colors and the Krynic are for this Sleepy Hollow sal, and I want to do the stackable drums, the 4 drums. So you can order these. The border design is on the website now, the Tiny Modernist website, but one option is doing the 4 designs as drums. But I was having trouble coming up with the size of fabric I would need to do the 4 drums, because although the pattern lists like the stitched size, there's also the separate if you're doing it as drums, they would also include in the design a little circle design that would go on the top of the drum, And but I was watching Michelle Bendy-Stitch's videos. I think it was not this past week, but a couple weeks ago. But that she was working on She's been working on. Excuse me, working on the drums as models for the Tiny Modernist. And so I just went ahead and asked her. I said I'm having trouble. Math is hard. I was having trouble figuring out exactly how much fabric I would need for each one. So she told me. So I think I had not. I wanted to dye some fabric, for the to stitch on. And if you look at this one back here, this is a great color, and I have, like I said, gray and green and purple, along with what I had before, blue, chocolate, a brown color, and wine, a red. And so I think what I'm going to do is have a gray background, and then just add a little splashes of green or purple or something like that. I don't quite have it in my head yet, and so for that I had bought this some time ago. This Belfast linen. It's 32 count, but I think I can fit 2 of those drum on here, and I just have to buy another one of these to fit the other one, the other 2 on there. And I had thought about using this. This is 28 count even weave. About dyeing this one to see if they would all fit on here, and I don't think they would, because with the 28 count they're slightly larger. And I don't know if this is big enough. I don't know. That's something I have to sort of calculate. So. Anyway, so I have some upcoming plans for Halloween, which I've never really done Halloween stuff before. But Halloween, fall, whatever, stuff, and Christmas things. And my ideas are probably a little on the ambitious side as far as doing all those things is concerned. But I'm not really so concerned with the Halloween and fall kind of things. because you know, I don't really make that big a deal about that sort of thing, those seasonal things, as I do about wanting to do something for Christmas. But so if I have to set the Halloween stuff aside and do that next year, finish them next year, whatever, it's no big deal to me. So the first one, one of the first ones, is this Halloween design, Halloween Scary Night, which is love. My viewer Gloria sent this to me, and there's some little buttons that go on there. There's one down here. You can see little stars. There's one down here, and one here on the end of her hat, and the other one is up here. Something in the O there of Halloween. So I don't have the buttons yet, so I have to look into that in order. I think the button pack number yeah, the numbers of the buttons are in here, so I may be able to order those online. But I thought I would use this. It's a little bit on the dark side, but maybe, this side, half of it is darker than the other one. But this is fabric it was this sort of brown color to begin with, and then I used I had some tie-dye dye left from a t-shirt that I made for my brother last year. And so I had used I had some blue, I think. So I had used that on this, and I might throw it back in the, or maybe it was green I don't know. I think I had green left over actually, with this. I may add a little of the maybe the purple or something to it. I don't know. I don't want it to be too dark and too murky for this design. This design has a lot of black and orange in it. But I don't know. I may just do it. Ooh, excuse me. I may just do it on the fabric as it is. And then I have this little Mouse of the House freebie that I got from Twin Peak Primitives, and it's this little mouse and a pumpkin right here, and I think I'm gonna put it on this fabric, but that's another one. It should be pretty quick because it's not a very big design. And then I have it, like I said, the Sleepy Hollow thing. So those are my Halloween, fall, October projects. And then for Christmas, it's maybe a little ambitious. I have some Christmas type designs that I'm contemplating. That I have sort of on my list. I haven't kitted those up yet, though. So, but last week I talked about this "And Heaven and Nature Sing," and this is done in silks, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But anyway, I did go through my fabric stash and pick this 32 count linen. I think it's going to be the right size for that. And so I may or may not, do much on that. I might get it started, but I probably won't finish it for this Christmas anyway. But that's okay. And another project is one that I want to do for stop please to do, and this is I think it's a freebie, yeah, from by, I think it's Teresa Coded. Let me see. Yeah. But hold closely the ones you love, and this is the little. I folded it in half. Sorry, but this is a little snowman holding a bunny. And the bunny, they're both wearing scarves, and the snowman has got a little hat and mittens. It's very cute, very cute. But the snowman, the white of the snowman is actually charted as I want to say drab brown, very light. So he's not quite white, I guess. And I thought, you know, I would. I think what I'm going to do is the lightest blue, this light blue that I was going to use for the Ronnie Rowe ship. You know, I talked about it, how it looked white on the blue fabric that I chosen for those things, and so I think I'm going to use that. It's sort of an icy blue, white, almost white blue. So I think I'm going to use that for the snowman, and I'm going to put it on this fabric. This is 28 count even weave, and it's coffee dyed. So the one thing about the fabric, this fabric, is that it and I don't know if this is from the coffee grounds sitting oddly or what the deal is, but it has every now and then, every here and there, it has these little spots on it. So there's some more back here, but otherwise I think it'll work nicely. But so yeah, so I chose this fabric for the snowman, and some of those, so it's mostly Week Star Works, but it has a few, mostly DMC, but it has a few Week Star Works. So the fawn color is going to be on here, and hibiscus is one of the ones I had to order, and the other one is the blue coat red that I showed earlier, and so those colors are for this project. Sorry. And another Christmas project that I have is this Christmas Eve ride, and this is the other Week Star Works flosses are for. And I have collars that I bought before, and the fabric that I'm going to do it on is this one. This is 18 count Ada that I tea dyed, and this one I used. This is one that I used. My friend had sent me some tea. I want to say it was chai tea, and anyway, so that it came out really nice and dark, much darker, than other tea dyed fabrics that I did. And so I don't know if it was the tea. No, it wasn't chai. It was ginger tea. Yeah. That I like that. My friend had sent me some ginger candies that I really, really, really liked. This sort of chewy ginger, almost like a toffee kind of thing, but ginger flavored, and I really, really like that. In fact, I was really sad when I, you know, ate the last one. But the ginger tea was a little on the strong side for me. It was a little bitter and a little very strong, I think. But it died really nicely. I was gonna tell my friend I said that. Anyway, so that's another Christmas project, and this one I really want to get done along with the snowman. I really want to do those. And the other one, the other thing I really want to do is these Biscornus, and I don't know how quickly I can get them done. This dragon one and this gnome. I want to do them, but there's a lot of detail in them. These are by the Tiny Modernist, and I bought one from the Tiny Modernist as a PDF, and that is the Western Biscornu, and I did that. I don't have it handy. As part of my 24 hours of cross stitch, and I talked about that last week, I think. But I got a little bit done on it, very little, because it was one of the last ones that I worked on, and I was kind of pooping out, and I was running out of time. I was trying to do, anyway, but it was pretty simple compared to these. These are a little more, there's sort of more going on, and a little bit bigger things, design things. So I'm hoping to get these done, and I haven't decided. I don't know that I want to dye the fabric on them, or just do them on white, because and I have this this 28 count even weave, it's 15 by 18, and these little Biscornu things are like maybe 5 inches by 5 inches for that size fabric. So they should fit on there, the both projects on one piece. But if not, I can always pick up another piece like that, same size. But they're very colorful and very detailed, and so I think that that the white background would be probably better for them, and to not distract from any of the color that's going on here. The blues and the greens for the dragon one, and there's a lot of red in the gnome design. So I think I'll leave that fabric white and for those. And what I'm gonna need is a pretty good rotation, I think, to sort of get to work on everything equally, so that they progress equally, so that I get everything done. I think, I don't know, I want to work on the fall things. I also kind of want to do the Christmas in July. I know a lot of people are doing Christmas ornaments, Christmas something in July, and I think that if I get started on it in July, that I can make some progress instead of waiting till the last minute like I have always done. And but July 1st is the beginning of the Sleepy Hollow sale, and I think that that's probably going to take me a while to do as well. So maybe I'll have to take, it's like, all day one day on this project, and all day the next day on another project. I'll have to be pretty strict about that, and that way I can maybe get more done each time. I don't know. So, but but this is the first time I've I don't have necessarily a special event that I'm kitting these up for, except that I'm trying to think ahead a little bit, um, and get things going. But anyway, so I think that's it. I've had my fan on this whole time, haven't I? Sorry, I just realized how noisy that was. Sorry about that. But anyway, I think that's everything pretty much. I just placed an order last night for the remaining threads, the Week Dye Works threads, and this one Krynic thread. Um, all of which I looked for it at the attic when they didn't have those like 4 or 5 uh, things that I was looking for. And so while I ordered them from 123 Stitch, and while I was there, I also bought a Parish School of Shanta. Was that the one I bought? I don't remember. I bought something else while I was buying the threads. I bought. It might have been. No, I don't remember if it was the. I looked at a Prairie School of Shanta. I looked at one, and I looked at something else, and now I can't remember what I decided on. It was in the wee hours of the night, and that's always a mistake to order in the middle of the night like that. Um, it was probably the Prairie School of Santa because of what I remember is the total being before and after I added that project, that pattern. I mean, I think it was a Prairie School of Santa. Anyway, yeah, I think it was. Oh, sorry. Um, but yeah, so I ordered that. So hopefully they'll be in sometime this coming week or so. And it's yeah. So anyway, I think I'm about to run out of time. Uh, so those are my upcoming plans: Halloween and Christmas, or October and Christmas, and we'll see how what gets done. So until next time, have a good time, have a good week. Be nice to each other. Cross stitch all you can. Uh, I think that's it. All right. Like I said, I'm Beth Martinez. I didn't say welcome back to my viewers, my subscribers, and hello to any new viewers, whatever. But yeah. So I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.